Hello, this is a very important video for me, and it is concerning an episode of violence at the Fayetteville, Arkansas VA hospital. And I literally went to the hospital because my doctor told me to go to the ER and was attacked by the two people in the emergency room staff. And the funny thing was, it was quite apparent that the people in the ER knew this was going to happen. Now, the question that comes to my mind, and this is very important, it's very important, is if you want to attack someone, whatever the legal term is, you want to physically thump them, you want to physically harm them, most people would not seek out an audience. They would want to, do such when you're walking to your car in the evening when nobody's looking or something. And that was a real, brain buster for me. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Why would someone want an audience? And why are all of these people aware that this is going to happen? It was evident to me if I were to go into detail. Well, it was some time later, I told myself, of course, it was going to be pressing upon my mind for, for a while because it was traumatic and it didn't make sense on top of the fact that it was traumatic and painful and frightening. So I told myself, okay, you've had a few days. Just let your mind do what it's designed to do. Your mind is designed. It'll cross-reference everything out. And, but we do have a tendency, if we're too close, we can't see the picture. So then it hit me. When I had a few days, it just, boom, it hit me. They wanted me to react so they could bring charges against me, against the staff, because if you hurt somebody bad enough, and the physician's assistant screamed, "Oh, I know that hurt. I saw it," blah, blah, everything that was done and was said. And I was like mortified. I was in shock, staring at him and turning my head and staring at the person that used the tool, the surgery, the phlebotomist tool. I was like, what is going on? But I understand why now. They wanted to get charges on me desperately. So I recently went to Washington Regional Hospital in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And when the EMTs came, sorry, I've got ringing in my ears and I'm on a lot of medication and such. I'm probably yelling. When the emergency medical technicians, the ambulance drivers were here, I was very uncomfortable with the woman EMT. And I know I have the right to ask certain questions or to say, you know what, I've changed my mind. I don't want services. I'm going to decline services. And you have that right. But the way this EMT was behaving, I was very cautious. Now, I at no time was violent verbally. I didn't make threats. I wasn't physically combative. I was not agitated. I simply knew I had this terrible feeling of discomfort. And for some reason, the EMT treated me as though I was like a child. I didn't have the right to ask questions. And so that was the only thing I was guilty of, was probably the look on my face. Was like, really? So it turns out, when they get me in the ambulance and they get all that work done, and they get me down to the hospital, they immediately take me and put me in a locked room. That is for people that, either have something criminal or someone that is being held against their will for a 72-hour hold for a psych exam. And as soon as they bring me in, instead of taking me back to medical, and I've been no problem whatsoever, I said, you're going to put me in there? And that's what they did. So this is, and I can wrap it up for you, boys and girls. That is the second attempt to project charges on me that I don't deserve, that I've not earned. I'm saying it's dishonest. And in my opinion, it's my mother's baby brother, Gurney Williams, the police officer. He's still butthurt. He's still butthurt. So I'm going to do what needs to be done about this. At no time did I launch a verbal threat. At no time was I physically menacing or inappropriate in any way, shape, or form. And here's the problem for these people. Oh gosh, this ringing in my ears is terrible. I did this for a living in Chicago. I worked at a major Chicago hospital as a private cop. Now, a private cop is a whole nother animal than any other kind, like city or county or state. Totally different. The duties of a private cop, especially at a major hospital, are very different. It's not the same thing, but it's a job. You still have a responsibility. I could, if I felt like it, I could explain it, but right now is not the moment because I really want to get this video over with and get some sleep. So this is twice that Gurney Williams has tried to set me up, and this time I believe, I'm going to have to take some legal action because I had to talk to someone today in medical, and what they said to me, see, all they do is read the chart. So apparently, putting me in that room, this EMT, they stated and have made they've stated, I don't know whether it's an allegation. Anyways, they are accusing me of inappropriate behavior that is criminal, of which I did not, I never went there. And this is how butthurt Gurney Williams is, the retired police officer. I took all those videos down. Well, hey, guess what? I may go ahead and hire me some legal counsel. Why, boys and girls? Why? Because I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. I simply was uncomfortable with the way the EMT was speaking to me. I knew I had the right to ask a few questions, and for that, it was turned into a crime that didn't happen. So this is the ugliness of my mother's baby brother. He won't quit. He won't even let me die in peace. I'm in hospice. And this man will not even let up while I'm in hospice. I mean, that is, can you just imagine what it was like in 1968 when we were sent down here by my mother, my younger brother, and me to visit for the summer? He was horrible the whole summer. He was a vicious mental case the whole summer of 1968. And there's so many more details I could give. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and allow them to label me as such. If I need an attorney, I definitely will hire one. But if this helps anyone in the future that's being stalked and harassed by a relative that is mental case. I'm sorry that sounds rude to say it that way. There are proper terms. Let's see, what would that term be? Just a personality disorder type of person, such as a malignant narcissist. My mother was so sick, she had multiple. She had the Munchausen by proxy, the malignant narcissism. There was times when she was histrionic. I mean, it just goes on and on. And I told myself when I was a small child, I said, nope, nope. If I have to, I'm not gonna be little Miss Repeat of my mama. Literally, I told myself, I refuse to be little Miss Repeat. Yep. I just said, nope, nope, I don't intend to be a head case. And I did have to do a lot of work because my upbringing was so bizarre. And I admit I had a lot of help. And I'm thankful for the help I had. The great thing about having that help was that it helped educate me. It was helpful to educate me. Because if we're not educated about certain things, we're kind of, driving without our lights on at night. So I did have a lot of help. I sought help. I received the help. And I've always been thankful for the professional help I received. But it was a it was a lot of work. It was a long journey. And then to be, 68 years old and to have a family member that's a monster. He's a monster. I mean, he's just wicked. I mean, can you imagine being that wicked? That you keep trying to get charges on your niece? This is twice. And I'm telling you, I don't think an attorney's going to find this far-fetched at all, because there's a lot more evidence than what I'm sharing right now. That's what this is about. Because I got to the hospital, I'm like, they're putting me in a locked room, and matter of fact, if she was so intimidated and afraid, why was she joking and kidding around? Well, we were joking and kidding around because honestly, I was not comfortable with this gal. But if I was someone she feared, and my behavior was inappropriate, why was I joking around and her telling me that I was so funny, that I had a sense of humor and I could do stand-up comedy? I'm telling you, boys and girls, this is just shameful that there are people that would be so wicked that they would try to hurt a woman that's in hospice. Oh my gosh. And then it was really sad because I had to call the hospice worker, and they recommended that I take a benzodiazepine. Well, that's in case, when people are dying, they can become agitated. But here's the thing, I wasn't the least bit agitated. When the EMTs were in here, I just was not comfortable, and I had a few questions. Yeah, this is really sad, and I'm not going to allow Gurney Williams, retired Fayetteville Police Department police officer, to get away with putting phony charges on me. I sure don't expect an apology. But maybe if he would just go on and let it go. If this relative of mine hadn't have bothered me for 40 years, that's 4 decades. You hear how my voice is shaking? I'm very, very ill, and he won't even allow me the peace while dying. I may be dying slowly. No one knows how fast or how slow these things go. But that's not the point. The point is that I don't bother him, and he's always bothered me. Okay, that's a significant factor here. I've never bothered him, and he's always bothered me. Those boundaries, and between him and his sister, my mother, there's so many lives have been destroyed. It is really sad that people like this exist. But yeah, I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine how I was just so much a threat that that's how I dealt with the not being comfortable, was by just telling jokes. And that proves everything that was said in response substantiates that this woman was not afraid of me at all. Plus, she was a lot larger than me, and I'm pretty weak, and I'm very sick. But it's just, like I said, these things that aren't adding up, that don't make sense, they don't add up under normalcy, but under somebody trying to create false charges against someone, yeah. And then, I was talking to a friend about it, and well, sometimes this person's more of a friend of me, but I was talking to them about it, and they said, "Oh, you better stay out of the." They started to come from a place of fear, and I said, "No, no, no, that's not happening." Yeah, but and you got to do that. I said, "No, that's coming. That I'm not going to entertain fear. I just refuse. I'm not going to do it." So it was a good teaching experience to help, her understand. But, excuse me, sorry about that. But it's just really, it's just really sad that there are people that are so wicked that they want to hurt other people. They want other people to suffer. I think they call that sadism. I know they call it sadism when people enjoy hurting others. And it breaks my heart to know that there are other people that they're going through similar, and they don't have anyone to help explain this. I mean, someone somewhere is, for example, in a nursing home, and somebody that's trusted to provide care to them is hurting them. And it breaks my heart to know that there's no one there to put a stop, to step in and say no. That there's no one there to step up and say something loving and kind. And it's just, I can't blame it on just the times we're living in, because this kind of problem has always been with people, from what I can ascertain. But thank you for listening to my video. I appreciate anyone that's tuned in. And God bless you.